Hello everyone, welcome to the Football Betting Podcast. Whether you're watching or listening to us, welcome. I'm your host Tom Pipkin. I'm joined as ever by my co-host Tom Walker.
Bonjour. I am currently wearing a France 96 football shirt in response to my defeat last week in the kit wars. So I was trying to keep everything consistent and go with a French introduction. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah, so whilst, a lot of you listen on audio still, that's where, most of the listens come from. But those of you who do watch on the video, you'll see we put our own kits on every week. I've gone for a fake Wrexham top. So there's a story behind this one because a lot of you are probably looking at me and thinking, what on earth is he wearing? Years ago, me and Tom both had we lived together and we had a file on Football Manager and we both managed Wrexham. And we must have played for about a good 15, 20 seasons as Wrexham each. And I got to the Premier League. We'd make our own kits every season and import them into the game. And kindly, for my 30th, Tom made me one of the kits that I made back in the day as Wrexham. So that's why, we've got Premier League badges on the side. We're sponsored by Amazon now at Wrexham, and Apple is the front of shirt sponsor for Wrexham. So, you never know, actually, with the Ryan Reynolds takeover, this could be reality for Wrexham.
This is what I was going to say, mate. One day that's going to be retro, that is.
Yeah.
And people will be looking back when they're sponsored by Apple and Tesla or whoever, I don't know. But you got your first win in the kit wars, so I pulled out probably the best shirt I got in my collection, just to put you back in your place. So, yeah. However, moving on from kits, Tom, what a week we've had. Bloody hell.
Yeah, really good week. So we won the Bombproof Treble last weekend, the first one that we've had where we've combined forces and had it boosted exclusively on Matchbook. So I know lots of you got on that treble. You tweeted us afterwards, come 5:30, whenever it finished on Saturday, saying you'd got on. We saw lots of winning bet slips, which is great. And just to reiterate, it is an excellent opportunity to jump onto our sponsors Matchbook. Go to basically the boosted Bombproof Treble section of their website and get a £20 risk-free bet on the Bombproof Treble. So lots of you did it last week. You put a £20 risk-free bet on the Bombproof Treble. You get it back as cash if it didn't win, and you won at odds of 5.0. So you'd be 80 quid better off. As a result of doing it, and completely risk-free.
We followed that on, didn't we, with a midweek clean sweep. So those of you that follow us on Twitter, T_FB podcast, if you jumped on it ended up being a treble as one of the games got called off for a frozen pitch, not COVID, which was refreshing. But yeah, we got a clean sweep there as well. So last 6 tips have all come in. So that has clearly ranked up the pressure for this weekend to see if we can keep that going. But I feel like we're in a good spot, and I enjoyed the docket, to be honest with you. I think there's some really, really, really strong favourites that are quite short prices, but there's plenty of opportunity throughout the 4 divisions.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of strong favourites, aren't there? So we're going to do what we usually do this week. So, going to look through the Premier League, the Championship, League 1 and League 2, picking out our best bets. All the odds we read out on the show today are from matchbook.com. And as ever, you can go to matchbook.com and sign up using the registration code TFB podcast during the sign-up process and get yourself a £20 money back as cash free bet offer. So, without further ado, then let's dive into the Premier League. Watford against Norwich, big relegation clash kicks us off. Watford are 2.1, the draw's 3.6, and Norwich are 3.85. Any particular feelings any which way for this one, mate?
Result-wise, if I had to go for something, I'd probably go for draw or Norwich, to be honest. But I think the sensible money is both teams to score. It's priced at 1.77. A couple of statistics to support that. Watford scored in 7 of their last 8. and they haven't kept a clean sheet this season in the Premier League. They've only kept one in all competitions, and that was against Palace in the EFL Cup. And Norwich, known clean sheets in their last 7 games. They have collected 2 or 3 this season, which I was surprised at, but none in their last 7. I do worry about them scoring. They are quite low scorers. So this is more leaning on the fact that Watford haven't kept a clean sheet all season in the league. Surely that means that Norwich, who have, got themselves together a little bit recently, will be able to find the back of the net.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? I had exactly the same thing down, literally the same stats as you, pretty much. So, yeah, happy with that one then. Let's move to Everton Villa, which is the first Saturday. Obviously, Everton dispensed with Rafa after their defeat to Norwich last weekend. Long time coming. I know you spoke at length on the pod in previous weeks about how he was never a good fit in the first place, how they should have got rid of him literally months ago. Do you reckon this could be a turning point, or do you reckon there are one to avoid again this weekend?
Yeah, one to avoid again. I'm really excited for this game. There's so many wrinkles. There's the whole Liverpool are heavily featured in this game, and they're not even playing. There's Danny Ings, there's Coutinho, there's obviously Gerrard against Everton, and then you've got the big dunk factor. Right, last time he came in, he did a stellar job and really galvanised everything. So I'm a bit nervous about going against him. And yeah, Villa, I think I would side with them if I had to. But honestly, I had this down as a bit of a red flag, to be honest. I'm really excited from an entertainment point of view. But I don't know if you've got anything that you want to push forward in terms of tips.
I was just leaning towards both teams to score rather than anything on the result basis. Yeah. 7 consecutive Everton games have been both teams to score. They've conceded the first goal in 9 consecutive games, which shows you, instantly starting on the back foot, which is never good. And Villa are without a clean sheet in 4 consecutive games as well themselves. So 2 defences which aren't exactly watertight going up against each other here. So, yeah, I could see both teams getting on the score sheet.
Okay.
Brentford against Wolves then. That starts off at 3 o'clock. 3.2 for Brentford, 3.05 for the draw, 2.62 for Wolves. It's not the strongest tip of the weekend, but it's a good price. Wolves I've got down here, 2.66. I'm looking at Brentford and I'm thinking, like we keep mentioning, they're just not doing very well at the moment, are they? They had that fantastic start to the season, but since then, they've been really poor. They lost 5 of the last 6 league games. We saw them lose last night to Man U 3-1, going 3-0 down at home. They too, like Everton, they've conceded the first goal in 9 out of the last 10 games they've played. So they're another team who are kind of, starting poorly, conceding first, putting themselves on the back foot. And I think if they do that again to this Wolves side, I feel like Wolves are defensively organised and good enough to keep Brentford at bay. Like if Wolves go 1-0 up, I'd really worry for Brentford in this game, especially then if Wolves could potentially go 2-0 up, then it's game over. So yeah, Wolves at 2.66 could turn out to be a decent price because Wolves are on a good run of form themselves at the moment.
Yeah, I've got down here that they're the hindsight price of the weekend. And what I mean by that is, we'll have a look at 5 o'clock or whenever, and Wolves would have won 2-0, and you would have got a team chasing the Europa League with the second best defence in the entire division at 2.66, and you'll be kicking yourself that you didn't back them. My main issue, Tom, is with Wolves all season, and I've been backing them all season, is I've never been that confident with them going forward. But they've scored 7 in their last 3, and that's without Hwang, who I thought was a really influential player going forward. So, yeah, that only strengthens the tip. I think I'm all in on Wolves.
Yeah, if you want that extra bit of security, double chance, Wolves or draw is 1.42. So you could go for that as an alternative. Leeds Newcastle then, 2.08 for Leeds, 3.8 for the draw, 3.9 for Newcastle to get the win. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly not touching Newcastle with a barge pole, especially until they get a few more decent players in. And Leeds, off the back of that excellent win away at West Ham last weekend, I think this is the first time this season I have said on the pod that I think Leeds will win this weekend.
I think you're right, mate. I think this is a great price. Leeds, as you said, above just a whiff above evens, and yeah, like Newcastle are winless on the road all season, worst away record in the league. That
Mm.
Newcastle are showing me absolutely no reason to get with them at the moment.
No.
Home, away, I don't care who they're playing. Like if they play bottom, worst team in the league right now is Burnley. Newcastle at home to Burnley, still wouldn't back them.
No.
So I'm all in on Leeds. Possibly that West Ham performance and win was such a big one. Might be a turning point, and we might see Leeds now finish a little bit more comfortably. I think there'll be a little less, looking over the shoulder because they were mightily impressive. Rafinha, phew, what a player, man! Honestly, what a talent.
Big time. Right, so finally 3 o'clock, Man U against West Ham, 1.99 for United, just a shade under evens there. 3.8 for the draw, 4.1 for West Ham. 4.1 for West Ham. We've seen them turn over a couple of the big boys already this season, including Man U in the Cup. Look a bit big to you, 4.1?
It is big. It is big. I'm not brave enough to go with that. Are you?
No.
No.
I'm not confident enough to tip it out. I had both teams to score. I don't know about you.
Yep, same here.
Yeah, 1.66 is the price. United, no clean sheet in the league in 5 consecutive games. West Ham scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 games. So they're, on top form going forwards. They do still concede plenty, but at least they're scoring. I look at United and I think, who have they, considering this is a both teams to score tip, in their last 5 league games, we've seen them concede to Newcastle, to Burnley, to Brentford. These are 3 struggling sides right now. And if you concede into them, you're going to concede at least one, surely, against a West Ham side who are scoring plenty of goals right now.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's where I'm coming from with that.
two alarming stats, mate, for me that just leapt off the page. United, 1 clean sheet at home in the Premier League this season. That's absolutely insane.
Not
It's
good enough for
January.
them. Not good enough.
January. And they've conceded 3 more than Burnley this season.
Wow.
And Burnley are bottom of the league. It's just absolutely alarming. On the flip side, scored 13 last 14. West Ham, 4th best attack in the league. Bowen, with Salah being gone, he's arguably the most devastating player in the league right now. I would say. I know he's not a huge name playing for City or anything like that, but he to me looks the most dangerous player in the league at the moment. And yeah, West Ham scored in 7 consecutive games, and in those 7, they've scored more than 6 times. So great statistics for both teams to score here.
Yeah, big time. Okay then, so Southampton, Man City rounds up the day's action in the Prem. 12.0 for Southampton to get the win at home, 6.6 for the draw, and Man City 1.29, very short, as you'd expect, to get the win here. Considering that Chelsea don't play, Liverpool don't play, Man City can go, about 16 points clear? Is it at the top of the league
So
if they win this game, I think?
I didn't even look. I'll be honest with you. I've wrote down here Man City. That's my research because
I've got carried away. It's not 16, it's 14. I'll just
14.
checking. Yeah, 14
Still,
points.
Like I haven't even done any research here. Like maybe you could get City and over 2.5 or something like that. Maybe they could get a 3-4 nil or 1 win. But let's be honest, it's going to be pretty simple for City, I think.
I've actually got Man City and under 4.5. So I'm squeezing the lemon here. Squeezing the lemon.
Yeah. What price is that?
What did I say? 1.29 on the nose or something like that, I think I said.
Yeah.
1.76 is the price for Man City and under 4.5. Last 6 away games, won them all under 4.5. That's seen 2-1 against Arsenal, 1-0 against Brentford, 3-1 against Watford, 2-1 against Villa. They're playing teams here similar stature, slightly potentially worse than Southampton, and they're not steamrolling them away from home. So that's where I'm coming from here. So they are winning games away, but they're not battering people. So, if you see another 4-0 to City, it comes in. 3-1 to City comes in. So, yeah,
Yeah, I
1.76
mean,
potentially.
fair play to you. You've managed to find a good tip that's competitively priced in a
Hmm.
Man City game that's not against Chelsea or Liverpool or someone. So
Yeah.
yeah, fair play to you.
Arsenal Burnley then is Sunday's first game at 2 o'clock. We've got three 2 o'clockers, 1.38 for Arsenal, 5.2 for the draw, and 10.0 for Burnley. I don't think I'm going to go out on too much of a limb to say that I expect you fancy Arsenal for this one.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are bullies, aren't they? They're like the best of the
Wow.
rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a team like Burnley are just going to turn up and get comfortably beaten with Arsenal in third gear. I think. I mean, Ben Mee has said he's leaving. Chris Wood has gone. Maxwell Cornet, that by far and away their most dangerous player, is away at AFCON. Burnley are in an absolute mess. This is the worst we've seen them in a long time. They've won one match all season. Why will that change at the Emirates? I don't see any signs as to why.
No, I completely agree. So, yeah, Arsenal definitely for me. Crystal Palace Liverpool then up next. 6.2 for Palace, 4.3 for the draw, 1.63 for Liverpool. Uh, I had down here Liverpool to win, 1.63. Didn't go any further than that. But I was just looking at the stats head to head. Liverpool have won 10 games in a row against Palace, and that includes 7 in a row at Selhurst Park. Um, so, yeah, they're a really good team for them to play. Palace seem to really struggle against Liverpool in recent seasons, especially at home. Um, I also think that, one, Palace haven't been playing great of late. I watched them against Brighton last weekend. Extremely lucky to get a point there. They've got a big problem of conceding from set pieces this season. And I think with Alexander Arnold whipping balls in, they're probably going to be in trouble from that aspect. I just think Liverpool, despite missing Mane and Salah, they're going to have too much for Palace at the moment.
Yeah, I've extended it somewhat. I've gone for Liverpool and both teams to score. It's 3 excuse me, 3.45. If Vieira lines up with that Elise Eze Gallagher 3, that's exciting. That can score
Yeah,
goals. Liverpool, I mean, we're currently recording midway through the Arsenal Liverpool game, so I can't give you a full time result on that one. But Liverpool before that game had conceded 5 in their last 6 games in all comps, so they can be got at. I agree with you, Tom. Liverpool should get a win. It's a very happy hunting ground, but I could see a 3-1 maybe. Palace sneaking
yeah,
a goal. I think they could be good for it.
yeah. Okay, I could see that too. Next then, Leicester against Brighton. Leicester priced at 2.66. The draw's 3.4 and Brighton are 2.88. So, fairly even this one with Matchbook. How would you see this one going?
I mean, I'm kind of siding with Brighton. I think the smart money is both teams to score.
Mm,
I feel like whenever we're seeing Leicester at the moment, both teams to score just has to leap off the page. They've
yeah,
scored in 11 straight games. They've scored 2.63 goals on average per match in that spell. And they've conceded 2.09 goals per game in that spell. So their games are on average 2.6 to Leicester and 2.09 to the opposition. That's a lot of goals.
yeah,
And Brighton have lost one away game all season, so they're going to be within this game. They're not going to get beat 4-5-0 and kind of give up. They're going to be in it the whole time. and Brighton have scored in 8 of their last 9. Attacking, like Wolves, attacking concerns have gone quiet recently. They've managed to find a solution, and yeah, they're getting the job done. I would side with them if I had to, but I think it's a bit smarter to go both teams to score.
Yeah, similar vein. I was going to go over 2.5,
Yeah,
priced at 1.99, just a shade under evens. Like you're saying, 7 of the last 8 Leicester games have been over 2.5. So yeah, I completely agree. I see Leicester and I think goals. So
yeah,
at both ends at the moment. So yeah, I think
yeah,
a goals bet in some form is probably the sensible play here.
yeah. Agreed.
Last one then, Chelsea against Spurs, 1.71 for Chelsea. So they're pretty heavy favourites for this. 4.2 for the draw and 5.4 for Tottenham. Um, I feel like I'm a bit on the fence in this particular game. We've got Tuchel complaining that the team are tired. They're on a pretty poor run of form by their standards. We've seen Spurs again. They're not on an amazing run of form, but they turned it around late on against Leicester incredibly last night. Is that going to give them a momentum boost? They've had more rest than Chelsea have. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where to turn. So if you've got any guidance for everybody, then please feel free to take it away.
Mate, this is a tough one because the 2 Carabao Cup matches between the two, it was so clear how much of a
Mm,
gap there is between these two sides. But a lot can happen in a short amount of time because that Tottenham turnaround against Leicester in midweek has got to do absolute wonders for the dressing room and confidence and all
yeah,
that stuff. And Chelsea, it's just negative noise constantly. Like even when Hakim Ziyech scored the other night against Brighton, he looked annoyed. Like no one like really celebrated. Like they're actually closer to 5th position now than they are top of the league. And at the start of
wow,
the season, a lot of people were saying that they could win the league. I thought they could challenge. I thought the winner would come from City or Liverpool, but I thought that they would make it a 3-horse race, and they simply haven't. Lampard lost his job when they were 12 points off the top, and that's what they are now with Tuchel. And yeah, I would be siding with double chance Tottenham. I think 2.32, and that's purely on like mood. I think
yeah.
um, it's not a strong tip. I'm really interested to see how it goes from an entertainment point of view. To be honest,
Yeah, well, it's a good price if it does come in.
yeah,
It certainly is a good price. And we've seen Chelsea at Stamford Bridge haven't exactly been great recently, have they? They've got 1 win in their 6 home games. They've conceded at least 1 goal in each of those 6 games. Um, so it's far from any kind of fortress at the moment. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely an opportunity for Tottenham to claim a bit of a scalp
They had the
here.
excuse of, Lukaku's out, is our big, whatever he costs, nearly 100 mil striker. Like
Yeah.
anyone would, he's been back for a few games now. Um, doesn't look like the system is getting the best out of it. I've got a funny feeling that is because they're missing Chilwell and James at the moment.
Mm,
They're huge players for Chelsea.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the Blues at the moment.
No. Okay. Well, that is that then for the Prem. Let's just take a moment to talk about our sponsors at Matchbook, and then we'll cover the Champ, League One, and League Two.
Yeah, so we're really, really grateful for all the support that Matchbook are giving us this season. As Tom pointed out at the top of the show, we've actually changed the way that we're doing the trebles now. So we're doing one treble combined. Last week was the first time that we did it. Matchbook exclusively boosted it to have the official best price on the market. And a lot of people that we heard back from Matchbook took advantage of the £20 first bet back as cash if it loses. So people put that down essentially as a free bet. If it lost, they got their £20 back. And if it won, then they were in the money. And the offer is running again. It is an offer that's running throughout our partnership. TFB Podcast is the sign up code when you open a new Matchbook account.
Yeah, do take advantage of that excellent opportunity to try Matchbook risk free. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, and if you want to find the treble that will be boosted, because last week Matchbook had it boosted to 5.0. The next best was 4.65, I think. Then Bet365, for example, was 4.24 for the same treble. So, you know, I know we're going to champion Matchbook because they sponsor us, but genuinely it is the best price out there for the trebles. So well worth taking advantage of. And you can find our boosted bomb-proof treble by going to Matchbook and searching for bomb, which sounds
Yeah,
sounds funny to say, but it's called the bomb-proof treble, right? So if you search the Matchbook website using the search bar at the top for bomb, you'll find it.
pretty much it's going to be the bomb-proof treble and maybe a horse that's running that day. I don't know. So I feel like a horse could be called Bomb something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also put the link, the direct link out on social media as well. So T_FB podcast. Just have a little look and a rummage through the timeline and you'll be able to find the direct link.
Yep. Okay, right. Let's EFL then. So, champ, biggest game in world football this weekend at 12:30 at the world famous City Ground, Nottingham Forest against Derby County. Forest 2.02, the draws 3.35. Derby are 4.3 for the win. Tom Walker, are we going to get one over on them?
No. It's going to be under 2.5, I think, which is 1.58. We have, I mean, both teams have been absolutely stuck in the Championship year after year after year for a long time. And this derby hasn't been watered down, but this one feels particularly huge with everything that's happening over at the Sheep Pen. I mean, historically, this game has finished 1-1 pretty much the last, I think it's 5 games between the two has finished 1-1. 8 of the last 9 have finished under 2.5. Let's focus on Derby right now. They might not be a club by February? And that is not being dramatic. That's not me as a Forest fan, trying to make, a storyline out of this that doesn't exist. Like, that is a absolutely serious possibility. So this could be the last Derby game as Derby County ever. So there's that portion of motivation. The fans at Derby have been through, the worst of the worst, basically. Their existence of their club is staring them in the face. You can only imagine the motivation that giving their fans a Derby win would give them. That would be an amazing. If they are going to go under, they're going to want to go under, winning the last official derby between the two clubs before they come back as AFC Derby or whatever they do. But Derby, 4th best defence in the league. I don't know if a lot of people realise how solid they are at the back. I know Jagielka's gone, but they are a very solid unit. Curtis Davis has been absolutely reborn. He's been unbelievable this season. And I know Derby is second bottom at the moment, but you have to keep remembering that this is a side that is 2 points off Forest without their points deductions. 2 points off. They would be in the playoff conversation. Now, on the face of it, their playing staff doesn't scream playoffs. They've got a lot of kids, older players, cast-offs, etc., but they're making it work. If this game is played, let's say there's no rivalry between Forest and Derby at all, it's just two teams, I will be backing Forest, but I think the motivation and the kind of, we've got, all the pressures on Forest. We've seen at home that they've struggled at times when the onus has been on them. They've got a better record away from home than they do at home. I could see this ending, honestly, maybe 1-1 again, or 0-0.
Again.
Yeah, or 0-0. I think it's going to be, Forest won't want to lose it. Derby won't want to lose it. And I just think Derby have got too much motivation to get beat.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you've just said. Pretty much the same stuff. Under 2.5 was the main one. And when the exchange is pricing it up at 1.5, whatever you said, 1.56, whatever you said. You
Yeah.
know, for a game to be under 2.5, that's a short price.
Mm.
And you just got to look at the stats that you read out to tell you exactly why. Have you ever seen the film The Truman Show?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Do you know what it's about?
No, not a clue.
Okay. Well, basically, Jim Carrey, his life is basically watched by everybody on a TV show, kind of like Big Brother. So they all watch Jim Carrey as this character called Truman live his life on this little manufactured island where they're all actors. But anyway, there's this part in the show where he realizes it's all a facade and it's all a show, and he tries to escape on a boat, and there's somebody in the sky controlling everything, like the director of the program, and he controls all the waves when Truman's trying to escape on his little boat. And he basically causes tsunamis, wave after wave after wave, so he can't escape his little island and escape from the show set. And I feel like that's kind of Derby at the moment, just being battered by wave after wave after wave of of EFL shit.
I tell you what, that was absolute football betting podcast Hall of Fame stuff. That was. What an analogy! I'm gonna clip that up for everyone so people can
Brilliant.
see that on Twitter. Amazing.
Yeah, well, it kind of ruined it a bit for me because you didn't know the film or what I'm trying to. So I've got to describe what I'm trying to.
Yeah, but
explain.
that made it funnier. It perked my interest in the film. Maybe I'll check it out. And also, there'll be listeners and viewers that know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Anyway, who are you betting on in the Championship this weekend?
Right. Let's have a look. Who else do I have? I was looking at Bournemouth. So Bournemouth are at home to Hull this weekend. They're priced at 1.65. Short price. Won't dwell on this one too much. But yeah, Bournemouth, they've only twice in 13 home games, so they've failed to score 2 or more goals. So they got a really strong home record. They won 7 of their 12 home games. Hull, we saw them beat Blackburn the other night, 2-0 at home, but away from home, they've lost 8 of their 13 games. So they don't travel particularly strongly. And I just think, Bournemouth are. Honestly, I feel like for a side in second, Bournemouth aren't the most trustworthy side, but their home form, the fact they score plenty of goals at home, should see them through in this particular fixture.
Lots of question marks over Hull. Obviously, they've been taken over by a Turkish group, and there are...
He's on the Turkish version of like The Voice or something like that. The bloke who's taken him over.
I think so. I think he's like the Turkish Will.i.am, I think. But I think...
It doesn't bode. I don't know. It just doesn't bode well for me. This does it?
Not really, but apparently Grant McCann is under scrutiny, and they've got a shortlist lined up of new players that is exclusively Turkish. So who knows what's going to happen at Hull? Maybe there's some disturbances that you can take advantage of. Tom, hindsight, Championship prior to the weekend, Huddersfield Town, 2.5 away at Reading. Fourth bottom against seventh. Reading are battered and bruised, aren't they? A 7-0 loss to Fulham. And then they had, I think this is worse. They went away to Middlesbrough and lost in the last minute, which I think is actually worse for morale than getting beat 7-0 personally, especially when you're not expected to get anything out of it and then you just get a kick in the teeth. They've got crazy amount of injuries. Managers absolutely losing it. I don't know if you saw Pauno in midweek and his rally cry to the press. It thoroughly recommended because he's absolutely lost it. And Andy Carroll is a free agent again. Like, he's gone. So it's an awful time to be associated with Reading, and Huddersfield continue to impress, not going away. I really thought they'd fade away by now, but they're not. They haven't lost in any of the last 5 away games, and that includes games against Barnsley, okay, but Bristol City, Burnley, Blackburn, and Forest. They haven't lost any of them. So going away at Reading should be, a comfortable assignment for them. And if they're serious about the playoffs, they've got to win.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they absolutely should have lost some of those games against Blackburn and Forest, but credit to them.
Of course, they should
Credit
have.
to them, they didn't. They
Yeah,
didn't. So, and
correct.
that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a good price for both teams to score, I think. It's a
Let's go.
1.96, so touch under evens. It's Swansea against Preston. Swansea have kept one clean sheet in 8 consecutive games, so very leaky. Preston, no clean sheet in 11 consecutive games. So we've got 2 poor defences, and this is where, the bulk of this tip is formed from. Preston are on a decent little run of form. Ryan Lowe's come in. They've got a nice little new manager bounce from his arrival. And I just think I could see this one being, it won't be massively high scoring, but I could easily see a 1-1 or maybe a team will win 2-1 or something like that. But yeah, the fact that both teams are so poor defensively, I'm surprised both teams to score is 1.96 because they are 2 teams capable of scoring goals.
That's why you do your research, Tom, so the profit chasers don't have to.
That's right.
Right? I'm going to go on a similar path here, and I already can hear the despair from you and the profit chasers. I'm going to go for West Brom to win and over 2.5 goals against Peterborough at home. It's priced at 2.04. Now, West Brom have been, what's the word? Unflattering. Is that a good way to describe them? They're still in the promotion hunt. They're still right up there. They still have automatic, as their target, but they're just not impressing, and they cannot score goals. They are known now to be missing chances. But did you know, Tom, they have created the second most expected goals in the league? So they're creating the chances. It's not a problem. It's putting them in between the posts. So I'm swimming against the tide here, right? So I've just told you we've got a good side, a promotion candidate who have set up the second most amount of expected goals in the league. They're playing against Peterborough at home. They're the worst side on the road in the league, and they've got the worst defence in the entire league. Let's put those two things together, put it in the oven, and out should come a home win and over 2.5 goals pie.
I think out should come Daryl DK holding a big over 2.5 pie for you.
Exactly that, right?
I'll score for you, mate. Don't worry.
Listen, basically what I'm saying, this is last chance saloon for West Brom. If they don't deliver for me here, they're not seeing another cent, another penny, nothing. So yeah, I'm going for that. I just think everything together. Eventually, I think personally, West Brom are going to beat someone 4-5-0 in the next 2 months. I think, because eventually there's going to be one of those games where just everything goes in, because that's the law of averages and that's how it works. Mm-hmm. So I think it could be this weekend.
Yep. Okay. Wasn't one I was going to pick out myself, but I can see why. Yeah. Come on, DK.
DK pie, please.
Do it for the boys. DK pie. Any more in the champ for you? Because I'm done.
What do you mean you're done? How can you not pick Fulham at the moment?
Look,
they're priced at evens. I
was going to look at Fulham, and I was going to just throw one out there, like Fulham to score 6+ goals again or something like that, just for a bit of fun. But I don't know.
Why?
They can't keep it up. They can't just keep going bang, bang, bang.
No. They can't keep scoring
earlier season.
No, they can't keep scoring 6 and 7, but they're not. I don't think they're going to need to do that. They're evens, 2.0 away at Stoke. Stoke's last 2 wins have come against Hull and Leyton Orient. So do not be fooled. Stoke are in a bit of a sticky patch, and their playoff dreams are kind of fading ever so slightly. It's a dramatically tougher test for Stoke. Obviously, we all know Fulham, 19 goals in 3 games. I mean, Barnsley have scored 16 all season, and Fulham have eclipsed that in 3 matches. They got the second best away record in the league, and arguably the greatest ever striker seen at Championship level. How can you not tip them? What am I missing? What am I
Well,
missing?
it's the thing. I feel like Stoke are much harder opposition
No, they're
for one,
not. No,
and
myth busted. They're rubbish.
we don't be rubbish. You're not in eighth if you're rubbish.
No, they were good before, but right now, this moment in time, rubbish.
No, I just think I don't know. I just worry about Fulham. Yes, they've just plundered a ton of goals in the last 3 games, but before that, they haven't won in about 6 games.
Yeah. So
It
now
will.
it's
They just
flipped.
still worry me slightly.
I'm swimming with the tide on it. West Brom, I'm swimming against. Fulham, I'm on my lie low, and I'm literally floating with the tide here.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say anyway, if you want to back Fulham to continue their little goal spree, you could have them to score over 2.5 at odds of 4.5. So that's a good price. Over 5.5 goals in the game, that's priced at 15.0. So, yeah, again,
Maybe.
good price. If you wanted to go over 7.5, that's 22.0.
Right.
So
I think we should
that's coming
move.
in the last 2 games.
Right. I think we should
3
move.
games even.
We should move on to League One now because it's getting silly.
We're getting around in silly season. Right, okay. Um, League One then. I don't know about you, but I feel for me there's 3 absolute standouts, 3 stonewallers in League One. They're all short prices. I'd be shocked if they didn't all win, but we've got to read them out, right?
Yeah, I've actually got 4 Stonewallers, so I'm excited to add a extra Stonewaller. But go ahead, take it away.
Well, okay. We'll go first with Wigan. They're at home to Gillingham. Wigan are priced at 1.3. So, as you'd expect, they're the shortest price in League One just this weekend. No losses in 16 consecutive games for Wigan. No wins in 14 consecutive games for Gillingham. Need I say more after that?
Do you know what? I think you almost said the shortest price of the season, and
Yeah.
actually, I think it might be. I don't know
For
if
League
we'll get.
One, yeah.
I
To be
don't
honest,
know what.
yeah.
I don't know what could happen. Like, who's going to
Yeah,
play who to have this shorter?
yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
1.3. I think. Yeah, Wigan for sure. I'm going to take the second shortest, which is 1.34, which is MK Dons against Donny. Tom, I know you've been stung by MK a lot, and I know you're really mad at them. But they're playing Donny, who have 1 point on the road. They've lost 12 of 13 matches. They're going through a bit of a squad churn at the moment. I couldn't tell you much about the players they're bringing in. I've genuinely never heard of probably 4 or 5 of them. And MK Dons, they've lost O'Reilly to Celtic, which is a huge blow. He is probably one of, if not the best player in League One. But Corbianu, on loan from Wolves, Championship standard winger, is making an absolutely huge impact. Just when you felt that MK needed an extra goal threat, he seems to be providing it. So should be absolute routine for MK. Should be.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Rotherham then. Rotherham against Cheltenham are the third stonewaller for me. So the 1.34 again on the nose, but we're going to take it a little bit further and go for Rotherham and over 2.5 in this one, which is priced at 2.02. They're playing Cheltenham, who have no wins in 9, no clean sheets in 9. So they're not playing very well at all at the moment. Rotherham have the second best home record in League One. They've scored the most goals at home. That's 32 in 13 games. So that averages around 2.5 goals per game that they're scoring at home. So that's enough alone to get this tip in. And if you run down the home form, they've won 5 games in a row. They've won 2-1, 3-1, 5-1, 3-1, 5-1, 0-0, 4-1, 3-0. That's the last, 7-8 games, winning the vast majority of them. And I think, because they're scoring plenty of goals along the way, they should again get a comfortable win against the Cheltenham side who are in no sort of form whatsoever.
Yeah, Rotherham have lost that like unbeatable kind of aura about them, haven't
Yeah.
they? They've had their
That's
bubble.
transferred to Wigan now, I think.
Yeah, I think so. They've had their bubble popped a little bit, but I'm still faithful to the Millers.
Yeah.
Tom, honestly, the fact that you said there's 3 bankers this weekend, that fits the narrative around my mystery team, and it fits everything that I want to say about Wycombe Wanderers. They are away up Morecambe. They're 1.83. They're the best price of the teams that we've read out. They're the new league leaders. I know, before people start screaming at me, I know Wigan have got games in hand. I think they've got 4 games in hand, but guess what? They're games in hand. Right now, they are equal to 0 points. So Wycombe are the deserved leaders of this league at the moment. I feel it's going completely under the radar. I feel like since the very beginning, Tom, we tipped Wycombe to finish in the playoffs at the very least this season. A couple of people sniggered at us. I think there's been a lot of fanfare around Ipswich. I think there's been more fanfare, and I thought about this carefully. I think there's been more fanfare around Bolton for promotion than there has Wycombe, personally. Then there's Sunderland and Wigan and all these teams, and Wycombe just get forgotten. And they're top of the league. And also, I didn't know that they had the second best form on the road this season in League One. When I think of Wycombe, I think of Adams Park, Joe Jacobson scoring from corners, 97th minute winners and stuff like that. They've actually yielded more points away from home than they have at home this season. And it just goes to show that sometimes we can get stuck into these mindsets, and sometimes we have to research and realize that these mindsets are just based on previous seasons. They've lost
Yeah.
1 of their last 10, and they're playing against a Morecambe side who are third from bottom in the last 8-game form table with the worst defence in the league. So I'm going to stick my neck out, give Wycombe a bit of credit, and say 1.83 will be a kind of theme of the show, hindsight price of the weekend in League One. I think we'll look back at that and think, bloody hell, should have backed it if we didn't already.
Yeah. So what's our hindsight treble? We've got Wycombe, we've got Huddersfield, and we've got Wolves.
Yeah, that's the hindsight treble. Yeah, where you look back Friday 5 o'clock and you think, bloody hell, how did I miss them?
Yeah. There's a bonus treble there for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, League Two then, shall we?
Yes.
For me, there's slim pickings, to be honest, in this league. So unless you've got a lot to pad it out with, I'll go with one that I've got,
Yeah, go on.
which I know is different to one that you like. So, for me, Salford 1.7. I feel like it's probably the first time, I think, that we've tipped Salford on the podcast, or at least I have personally anyway this season. They're 1.7 at home to beat Colchester United. Colchester in a really poor run of form. That's where the majority of this tip stems from. They've lost 6 games in a row, no wins in the last 8. It's seen them slide all the way down the table to 22nd. There's 3 points above the relegation zone. Salford not doing too badly. 3 wins in their last 5. They've lost just 1 of the last 10 home games as well. So their home form is pretty strong generally. And as you messaged me midweek, signed Matt Smith from Millwall. Great signing for League Two Salford. Could be what they need to take that extra little push into the playoffs this season. If he can hit the ground running and get some goals in the second half of the season. So yeah, I think they're justified at that price of 1.7, and I think they'll get another win this weekend.
Yeah, Colchester, mid-table national team at best. Obviously, Tom, you mentioned to me they've got Wayne Brown in to replace Hayden Mullins. So there is the the new manager bounce. I'm doing inverted commas for those who are listening.
Yeah,
I mean, Wayne Brown might be the League Two Guardiola, but I think I'm happy to roll the dice against him.
I agree.
Uh,
I honestly never heard of him.
no, he played centre half for Leicester, Baldhead. He played for quite a largely EFL career. He's what I would describe on Football Manager as a limited defender.
I'm just googling him.
Just head and kick. Yeah,
It looks like you wouldn't want to mess with him,
for sure. Yeah.
but I don't recognise him.
Well, yeah. I don't think he's the most memorable ex-footballer. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's in the hot seat. Hayden Mullins got the chop.
He
Who
looks like
are
he looks a bit like Ryback, the
he
old
does.
WWE wrestler.
Who would win in a fight, Dino Maria or Wayne Brown? It's got to be Dino.
Dino, no
Dino's
competition.
an absolute podcast favorite. Dino, we love him. Who are FGR? I got a couple of rules on the pod. I don't like backing mid-table teams a lot of the time. I had one where I would search for Rotherham, didn't care if they were home or away, who they were playing, I'd back them. And Forest Green, and the same lines, don't care if they're home, away, I don't care what the opposition are doing, I don't care if they've won 10 in a row. I'm backing Forest Green. I mean, the league table shows you that they're the best team in the league. They're top and 7 points clear. They're on an absolute canter to League One. The best attack, third best defence. And again, this fits what I'm trying to say. Carlisle have been all right recently, to be honest. They've only lost one of their last 6, but the best team that they've played in that 6 is Bradford, who are in 12th. So it's been a very kind run. And the step up from Bradford to Forest Green away is absolutely gigantic. So FGR 1.68, tough game against Carlisle, but I think they'll come through for us as they have done numerous times this season.
Yep, I agree. Any more for League Two? Because I'm out now. Those
No,
are the two for me.
No, we're all spent. So I am delighted to bring everyone to the Bombproof Treble section. As we mentioned, last week was a winner. So I am just going to quickly recap that, and then Tom is going to read out the treble for the new weekend, exclusively boosted at matchbook.com. So on the weekend that was, we had Middlesbrough. They left it late, but they did win 2-1 against Reading. We had Wigan against Doncaster. Wigan on the road, again, same scoreline, managed to get a 2-1 win for us. And then Tranmere at home to Rochdale, the most comfortable, a nice 2-0 win to round off a 5.0 winner, which was, as we said numerous times last week, the best price around.
Yep. And again, for this week's Bombproof Treble, please do head to Matchbook. Take advantage of that £20 money back as cash offer. Best price again for this week's Bombproof Treble. We are going to go for Wigan to win at home to Gillingham, Forest Green to win at home, as you just mentioned, and then Rotherham to win and over 2.5 goals in their game as well in League One. So the price for that treble combined is 4.8 on Matchbook. If you do a quick little odds check, the next best price is Bet365. It's 4.61 right now. And then you've got like William Hill 3.45, Sky Bet down at 3.42. So, you know, with big bookies offering those kind of prices, Matchbook much better. Please do check it out. But that is the treble that we're hoping to make it 9 bomb-proof treble tips out in a row.
Yeah, which would be absolutely class. So please send us in your bet slips over the weekend. You know, if you're not backing our treble, absolutely fine. We just want to see what you guys are backing so we can create a nice little topic of discussion. Speaking of discussion, Tom, this is not my favorite portion, but it is time to have a look at the fantasy football
Yeah.
landscape.
I'm just checking now.
I feel like fantasy football has been a bit of a mess because of all COVID and stuff like that, but it's slowly getting back to normal.
Yeah. I've had a good week.
That's good.
I've literally just checked it. Yeah, I got 73 points. Average was 51. That was all right. I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I mean, I did terribly. So just if you can just glaze over that, that'd be great, and just read out the top 10 of the people who are actually good.
Okay. The top 10, we've got Vincent Rayner, Brian Grant, David Doherty, Sam Barnard, Charlie Donnelly, Oliver Hogburn, Chris Hindle, Luke Stevens, David Brown, and a new leader with a whopping 96 points this week. Chantel Crookshanks with Haven't Jot a Clue, when clearly she has. 1,459 points she's got, which gives her a lead of 31 over David Brown. So a little bit of a gap opening up, whereas it was all quite tight before. But yeah, so if you've got more than 1,459 points, you're listening to the pod, let us know. We'll give you the fantasy football code. You can join the league. You can leapfrog Chantel, take your rightful place in the league, and you can win a £20 free bet if you are still at the top come the end of the season.
Absolute wizards, the lot of them. Unbelievable what they're
Mystic Megs,
doing.
aren't they?
Yeah, honestly, it's absolutely incredible. But yeah, would absolutely love to see a couple of new faces in there if you play fantasy football. And yeah, please give us a follow on socials. Social, Twitter, T_FB podcast, hashtag road to 2K. So please give us a follow as we close in on 2,000 followers.
Yeah, and if you have enjoyed the show, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a rating or review wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely great. So thank you so much for tuning in. Go well this weekend and good luck with the bets.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.